Welcome back to Riverhead, Long Island. Scene of the Riverhead 200 of the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. Jack Arute along with Kelly Stavitz and Mr. Excitement next to me here, Jimmy Spencer. Jimmy, let's go back and take a look at that spin out of turn number 2.
We see the 36 there of Christopher slow down a little bit, but the 50 just spins out all by himself. Very interesting, almost like he had a problem with a brake or whatever, and it starts to stack them all up. And we also see 2 more cars further in the back that get collected, but just lost it by himself, Jackie. I don't understand what happened there.
Well, a little bump, a little tap.
Yeah, you know. but Teddy might have bumped him a little bit before that, but yet he spun out a lot further in. So, I mean, well, that's interesting.
It telegraphs it. For the youngster that is running in second place right now, Justin Bonsignor, who has moved into the lead in the 51. 2 fourth-place finishes during Whelen Modified Tour races the previous 2 years gave him the dream ride here in the M3 Special. But for Justin coming home, well, it's put a lot of pressure on him.
I finished 4th there 2 years, 07 and 09 with my equipment, so we're hoping maybe get a little better. We got better equipment this year, better overall deal. So that's the one circled on all at the calendar at the shop right now.
Not only has it been circled, but I checked with him and he said he had over 75 people he had to help get in here tonight.
Oh, that's cool.
There goes the winner's money.
It's enjoyable to see this.
Back to green flag racing. Bruno Ozil on the outside in the yellow car doing battle with the young gun, a fellow young gun. Bonsignor holds on. I gotta love this battle side by side, Nerf bar to Nerf bar. But look who's starting to sniff things around. That's the 6 and Ronnie Silk. And again, we have a spin. This time it's Renee Dupuis, the only female driver on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, and she's been at it for over a decade.
Yeah, and it looks to me like it was just a single car spin by herself. Jackie, these cars run a tremendous amount of rear brake. That also could have happened to the 50 car, it could have happened to the 90 car. You use a lot of rear braker because these cars like to be able to get in the corner and be able to rotate. You use brake to help them do that.
Let's talk a little.
I'm speculating. That might not have been happening, but I'm just thinking that's a possibility with what we're seeing here.
But if you say it with enough conviction, we can believe it.
You can believe that, Jackie?
Yeah, just go with it.
Good.
Let's talk a little bit while we got a break in the action. The pavement here. We were trying to describe, it's not that it doesn't have grip, but what running on this racetrack requires is you got to have patience.
Yeah.
You got to take it inch by inch. That's why I'm so impressed right now with the battle up front. They're running side by side and up to up.
That's what impresses me, Jackie, is that even when I was racing here how many years ago and over the years, this track hasn't been paved. Why should you? You have 2 wide racing. The key to any racetrack, in my opinion, is to get your car to handle. And what we're seeing right now is cars handling. That's the great thing about Riverhead. How many short tracks do you see in the United States that you can do what you just said, Jackie? Race side by side, and we're seeing it lap after lap.
Hey, I heard all the Cup guys talking and bemoaning the fact that the Daytona International Speedway is going to be repaved.
They like to leave it alone.
39 car has gone down on pit road. That's Rich Pillai Jr., one of the rookie contenders. He really likes this place. He hasn't been here that often, but I told the story before. Richie actually started driving for me in a mini sprint, and his father has never forgiven me because now he's moved up to the big time with the Whelen Modified Tour.
And then his father's probably in there getting his knuckles busted up on the hot brake rotors and working his butt off saying, Jackie, why did you do this to me?
Yeah, we used to be friends.
We used to be.
We don't exchange Christmas cards anymore. I think we're getting ready to go back to green once again. Watch the second row on this start. You got Goodell on the outside, and you got Ronnie Silk on the inside. They want to find some room to do battle for the lead. But Bruno Ozil and Bonsignor chose the outside of the air. As I predicted, look who's going to the inside.
And there is a great move. And I was a little surprised that Bonsignor took the outside. Brumholzer takes the lead back, and here comes the 6 car of Ron Silk up into second.
Silk, who cut his teeth racing go-karts with Danica Patrick and Sam Hornish Jr., now making a home in the Whelen Modified Tour, has moved into second. Bonsignor's 3rd place position is being challenged by Kevin Goodall. Goodall gets by to move into the 3rd spot, and that moves Rowan Pennick into the contest for 4th. A little deeper in the field, we see some of the slicing and dicing back and forth. Top 5 positions have now settled down a little bit, and the battle is between Eric Rudolph on the inside And on the outside in the 76, that car trying to get some traction is Eric Beers.
And now I think what we're starting to see, Jackie, is these guys have got accustomed to what's in play tonight, and we're starting to see them start to separate, start to pass on the outside, and they're starting to get a little separation, which will allow for a lot more movement, and in turn we're going to start seeing some separation and possibly some lap bars in a few laps.
Taking a look at Eddie Flemke, second-generation driver. His dad, the late Ed Flemke, made a name on the eastern seaboard as part of the Eastern Bandits, and now young Eddie is a car builder. As we go a lot
of his chassis are in the field tonight.
Go a little deeper into the field, and look who is starting to come to the front after spinning out.
Ryan Preece is already up to 15th place, Jackie, from being all the way back to 27th. Incredible run for him.
Ryan Preece is not afraid to use that favorite friend of yours, the bumper. And
well,
he's not used it as much as I thought he would. He's elected to try and make his run going up the ladder and on the outside, and so far it's working. It's
working really well. Now, he has the car exiting the corner really strong. The key to this racetrack, I said earlier in the show, you can't spin these tires, and he is doing a great job of keeping the tires underneath that car, exiting the corner nice and straight.
We should say that while Ryan started third, he fell all the way back to 28th after that early race spin.
Quick
and now,
move, Ray. Did you see that quick move, Jackie?
Did you see that?
Just you leave a little opening on a track like this, and bam, there they go. And this is what I like. He's racing right there with Jamie Tomeno. Jamie is a veteran at this racetrack. A lot of races ran on short tracks by Jamie. He's not one to fall asleep here.
And Jamie's the only one in the field that has raced in every Whelen modified tour race that NASCAR has sanctioned.
Absolutely incredible. Jamie, I was talking to him earlier. I raced with him in the modifieds when I raced, and it was so neat just to walk through the crowd here and talk to these guys. But we see Preece now. He is still pushing the issue here. He knows he needs to get by these cars.
Currently being posted in the 15th position, trying to work his way up to the front. You're loving this, Jimmy.
Have you noticed this? Look at these bumpers. This is what's cool about this sport. Look at this. Just a little, hey, I'm here, guys. I'm here. This is what I like. Look at the brake rotors. The heat in the brake rotors. Quarter-mile racetrack, you're going to see a lot of heat from the brakes starting to develop.
And drivers don't get short-tempered over being tapped.
It's part of the sport. They know that when they come here. Not a racetrack where you say, you know what, I'm going to be a pretty nice guy tonight and just try to finish. No. This is a racetrack. You need to stay on top of the wheel. You need to be aggressive, but you also need to gain their respect. And a little bump is okay. Just don't spin me out.
Dale Earnhardt would have loved this.
Dale Earnhardt, with Bobby Allison, as I said earlier, these guys love this type of racing because this is just true grassroots racing.
Do you remember when Dale Earnhardt and Terry Labonte got into it in Bristol? He said, well, I didn't mean to spin him out. I just wanted to rattle his cage.
Hey, you know, I finished second that day. I was pretty proud. And I'm going to tell you what, if I could have got Earnhardt, I would have emulated what he said. Rattle the cage. And this is what Preece is doing. He's underneath Jamie Tomeno. Now watch this. To the inside fence. Jamie gave him a little bit of room on the outside. There you go. This is the key to this racetrack, Jackie. When a guy gives you enough room, you've got to get in there and you've got to open the door and then you've got to close it.
And now you got to try and figure out how you get around Flemke in the 10 car. Now, he gets back in line, going to set Flemke up. Where do you go? Inside again. Take a look at that. He's getting a bite coming off.
This is what's interesting to me. Preece's car is really rotating the center and exiting the corner under fire. As you see, he's already pulling away from Tomeno. Preece has got a strong car, Jackie. I'm impressed that he moved this quickly through the field.
Meanwhile, back up front, we are starting to slice and dice through some heavy race traffic.
There he goes.
Look at that.
He passed him, and now we're seeing some lap traffic here, but we see the Preece car go by earlier. Now we're seeing again a lot of lap traffic starting to come into play.
So now you're the leader, or you are Justin Bonsignore's having a little bit of a problem getting around Rene Dupuis. How do you use the lap traffic to your advantage?
Well, you have to anticipate. Yes, you're on a short track here, but you have to say, okay, where is this person exiting the corner at? And you have to start looking further ahead. And any race car driver needs to look further ahead, Jackie, so they know where to anticipate their move.
Less than 1 month ago, George Brunhusel III found himself resting in a New Hampshire hospital with a broken sternum and 2 bruised lungs. Sat out 1 race, went to Monadnock, and now he is racing, and he told me before this race, fulfilling a dream because this is where he started. He leads the Riverhead 200 here as we have completed 34 of 175 laps. Eddie Flemke connects in turn 1, and we are under our 3rd caution of the evening.
We know that